Hi viewers, me and team here, and welcome to a Starcraft 2 match. I will be in the blue, and my opponent will be the red, the legendary Ender's Game strategist Bean. Yes, so I am up against friggin' genius who's got some sort of genetic malformity that allows him to be super brilliant. We'll see how I do. This is a Protoss versus Protoss match, and he wishes me luck and fun. Yeah, anyway, for those of you who haven't read it, well, at least the first book in this series, Ender's Game, is a really good book. And then after that, it gets a little strange. However, the the books that follow Bean's story after that, instead of Ender, are a little bit more along the lines of the first book and are pretty engaging, actually. So there you go. Bean's maybe a better character than Ender. Well, Ender in the first book is a better character than Bean, in my opinion. And then after that, Bean is the better character. So whatever. This might not even be a reference to that. But if it is, props to him. If it isn't, well, it should be. Anyway, I got some nice early funsies actions here. I need to send this probe scouts earlier. It's kind of hard when you get cross positions to do this properly. But anyway, this is a proxy 1 gate, not 2 gate, just 1. And we're going to see how this goes. Certainly this will make this an unusual game. And he opts to tie up a worker mining time just to try and beat on the shields of this a little bit. Even though there's only one pylon. Maybe he should be working on the pylon. I'm just saying. But anyway, you do some wonky stuff. Meanwhile, I am back here taking 2 gas. And actually, if you look at the workers tab, we are dead even. So this is mostly a committal to putting my building somewhere at risk, more so than a true early all-in. Anyway, we're going to just take this one zealot up here and poke up. Sometimes if people don't get a zealot or they go early cybercore or whatever, you can screw them up, you can out micro them, you can cause them problems. But in this case, that's not really what's happening. He saw this coming all the way. I probably should have placed this a little bit less conspicuously. And so now it's the micro wars, but I'm at a disadvantage. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot I can do here. Yeah, I can harass him a little bit, get another zealot or 2 out, but really not a whole lot. And he's now up to 3 zealots, so he did respond with the second gateway, and anytime they do that, it's really hard to win this. So I'm just gonna have to get out of there, not thinking I could get another zealot out, cut my losses, and drop a Stargate, because my opponent has been neglecting gas, going very zealot heavy, expecting some kind of straight zealot attack from me. Which is a pretty typical reaction, although 1 gate is much less committal than 2, so there you have it. Stargate, dropping a pylon here, moving my zealots back, and now a probe scout would not be good enough. He's going to need something other than that, because these zealots will slice probes as they come up the ramp. And I'll go ahead and block off, just to cause some grief. Grief. And yeah, Stargate's coming up. So my opponent has opted to respond to my early nonsense with a little bit of zealot pressure of his own. This is actually quite a few zealots for this time in the game, but I am chronoing out the Void Ray. And yeah, this is one of those times where you save your chrono boost, and if you're going for Robo or what's the other one? Robo or Stargate, you're going to want to save your chrono boosts and chrono these as much as you possibly can. No joke. It helps a lot, and that's part of the reason the old 4 gates were giving me trouble, is I wasn't chronoing my military enough. Is basically you have a time sink to set these up, and the chrono boost can help offset that to a degree and get you up your tech tree faster. Now, you probably can't get the Colossus tech before a 4 gate destroys you, but you can get to Robotech. But in this case, my opponent chose not to go 4 gate for obvious reasons, because I proxy 1 gated him and it threw him off. So now I'm just going to pressure up. I've got a more Void Rays chronoed on the way. Trying to spend my money here. And yeah, a little bit of mismanagement by me loses me a zealot there. In units lost, it could be worse, honestly. I'm only back 150, so I made up the cost of the pylon by killing that probe. And some zealot, well, I think a zealot. And maybe I'll get another one now, I'll pull off here. And going in here, I was hoping I wouldn't see stalkers, but I saw stalkers. So out we go. Not even going to get through my shields. But yeah, the gig is up. So he's chronoing more and more stalkers. Got Warp Gate on the way. He's got an observer out, so that's not the best for me. I'm just going to look at my wounds and go back to my base. Still making Void Rays, but it occurs to me that that's not going to cut it versus Stalkers, and so I drop a Robo Facility. Now, what I should have been doing right now, rather than training just Zealots, is working in some Sentries into my build. I've learned this as a result of this game here, that Sentries can actually be really valuable. And I should have been getting them already, as I'm getting quite a bit of gas, and they're a good gas dump. These units, despite their gas guzzling, they're actually still pretty mineral heavy, and you will accrue gas if you just build Zealots and Robotech or Stargate Tech, or even Robo Stargate and Gateway Tech. My opponent going for an expansion here. Not too much useful from the unit production tab any longer. He's mostly sticking with gateway units for now and observers, just so you know. But you'll see that as it comes up here. He's already got 2 observers out, one of them watching my expo. He knows I haven't expanded, so he's mostly just playing it safe, trying to macro up, trying to get a lead on me. As of right now, our income's going to be similar, but then as soon as he saturates this, that's going to change considerably. Although I think he pulled a few too many probes. Yeah, I don't really agree with that. He should have left some here, chronoed the rest out, and gone from there. But this is something that a lot of people don't realize. You need to set up your production facilities, and while you're doing that, you can't really make more units than somebody on one base. So there's still some timing for me here, but I need to make something happen quickly since I'm on one base and my opponent is on 2. So let's see what happens here. I have taken the watchtower. I think I did confirm a scout. Yeah, I scouted that. So I knew he wasn't going any crazy tech play just yet, but rather just for more units and money. And I decide to make something happen. Yeah, now I'm getting out some sentries. A little bit late for the sentries. I could have used them much better this game, at least at first. So there you go. Got a couple immortals out. That's going to help me. And here's our first engagement of any significance beyond the early game pressure. You can look at the units here. I actually have roughly similar cost investment. He's actually a little bit behind in the gas, but we're similar in minerals. And so play that reel. Force field, non-existent. Force fields would have helped me a lot. Contrary to popular belief, since you guys haven't seen me use a lot of force fields in any of my games yet, I do have them. Yeah, misplay there a lot, let them focus down my void. But the immortals did work, actually, and will clean up the stalkers quite nicely. I should probably be microing this guy away from the zealot. There we go. But, no such luck. Got him. Okay. So, that's fine and good. I did win that battle, but he's just going to be able to re-macro. And I'm going to lose 1 Void Ray. And I got my immortal. I'm like, hey, I'll take a pot shot. Yeah, not the best of ideas. And I'm going to lose another Void Ray. And then, after more warpins, crap, another Void Ray. Not looking good for me. If I could have kept those alive, things would have been a lot nicer for me. But as it stands, I am very behind in this game. Badly behind on harvester counts, badly behind on income. Not really the best of situations here. But hey, I'm able to churn out more immortals, right? Don't let this accumulate. Go, go, go. Yeah, there we go. I decided to sit on the watchtower. I figure I can still run away if he approaches, since I can see it. And he chooses not to. But he takes a 3rd, and he knew I had the watchtower. I don't know why he took that 3rd. He could have taken this one as well. I guess it doesn't matter. He felt like he had a strong position or whatever. Maybe he was just daring me to attack. So he's going to warp up in this forward position. So here's our next engagement. He's now ahead on minerals and gas, so this is pretty nasty for me. I have my immortal reinforcing, and yeah, not the best of situations to be in. But let's take a look at what happens. Finally, I decide to actually force field it a little bit. It's a micro going. And so I was able to force him out of there. I like being conservative with my force fields. And also, one thing I like to do a lot with them when I actually use them, and I've seen some pros, well, pros do it a lot better than I can, but I've seen some pros do it, is like being frugal with your force field, but steering how the enemy acts once he gets into them. So I'm actually going to slow this down. He's here, right? So my first thought was to force field this. That's going to split his army. Now he's going to want to pull back. So I put a force field here that will prevent some of his units from pulling back and force him into a 1-person choke. My next force field is going to go right here. completely splitting his army without using up too many force fields. Oop, postpone. So yeah, just a second there. We're gonna go back 10 seconds on that, just to show it one more time, and to get the AVG nonsense out of there. Yeah, so force field here to split the army, just one quick force field. Another one here so it can't pull out quickly with 2 units wide, and then this one up here to trap more units, so it's a trap like this. And that will split probably about a third of his army off from the rest, and while he's banging on the zealots here, he's losing stalkers to immortals firing on them, and he's not getting any damage on the immortals whatsoever. Pull back there again, still plenty of energy. I don't know why he thought he was safe to pull up here. I do the same thing again, kind of bad force fields, but obviously I want one here now. And he doesn't pull back fast enough. I do get that force field. And so now he is split yet again. Can't really do much to the Void Rays, or the Immortals. He's only been killing Zealots and burning energy. So a lot of his advantage just disappeared in a force field of death right there. Really a big misplay on Bean's part. I was really out of this game. He had no need to push into this choke, and yet he chose to do so anyway. In all honesty, I deserved to lose this game, but now I'm actually back in it, just because of that. And yeah, you cannot fight that many Immortals. I've been chronoing out the Immortals more so than anything. I've also been training more Void Rays and Zealots, but mostly it's been chrono boosting Immortals, and this is why. Because he got those Stalkers to counter the Void Rays, and the Immortals will counter the Stalkers. So it just also comes down to unit control. I will be able to clean up this expansion fairly easily. Pretty easy to do that when he doesn't have any units. Yeah, now he's literally 5k behind me, and a lot of that income advantage has been nulled. So this is going to be a straight fight once again, but I have the unit composition advantage now. He is warping in more forces, but look at this army spending amount. He's just no way you're going to make up that kind of deficit when you're behind on the units. So yeah, once again we're just going to force field there to block. He doesn't even try to micro out. A little bit of miscontrol with my Void Rays here. Should have kept them in the back. There's not a whole lot he's going to be doing to these Immortals, which are going to blast the Stalkers to pieces before he can do anything about it, and still have most of my Void Rays together. So for a change, like the earlier ones, these Voids are staying alive and doing a lot of damage. A lot of damage. And at this point, there's really not a lot he can do. If you look at the armies, yeah, he has nothing. And yeah, he could remacro a little bit, but nothing that can kill this force. So I actually got away with a game here. I should not have won this game. If he'd sat on this expansion, played defensively with it, I would not have been able to. But for whatever reason, he chose to engage me in a choke, and force fields carried the day for me. Sentry's definitely becoming more used by me. So there you go. Thumbs up if you like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Me and Team signing off.